All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. It's the pre-show, and yes, it's as bad as it looks. No, we are live from the FCA annual banquet, along with Stephen Shelton, Josh Rogers, Steve Hartline, and as I recall, last year at Westmore Church of God, you guys carried this whole thing.
I don't know how you recall anything since you weren't there.
That's
first and foremost.
I was struck with COVID. Thank you.
He was struck with laziness. That's what it was. Didn't want to show up.
No, that's every other day.
Yeah, this is. Listen, this is what a great event. I mean, last year was great. We honored great people like Ron Spangler is no longer with us.
A little bit on the plane about what FCA meant to him while he was in high school and then going to college, and now how transitioning out of from high school life, college life now into being fatherhood, how much FCA means to his kids, and it's just a really impactful night. Great to have a wonderful dog here in Tennessee, and being able to hear him speak tonight.
Well, we did play Rocky Top on the way here, and David knew every course. He really did. I'm not going to. No, seriously. Tonight, I talked to Matt Moore earlier this week. They're trying. Tonight's goal is to raise $50,000.
I think you've done this a few times. I think you understand.
We can make this work. Yeah.
Yeah, you think so? Well, welcome to Cleveland.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
Do they wear their clothes this big in Cleveland all the time?
Here we go. So here's what's happened. You've hung out with these two losers for the last 2 hours, and now you come out. All right, fine.
100%.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Cut that for us, Austin. Cut that for us, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that'll be a promo on the radio now. Well, David.
He doesn't know my faith, and talking football is something that I love to do, and now I do it
Welcome to Cleveland. We appreciate you coming. We know your schedule is probably pretty tight. You said you were speaking yesterday, now again today. David, you played 4 years, All-American, Georgia. You outkicked your coverage with your family, I can already tell.
Yep.
I can tell you're a huge family guy. Proud of your son. You're talking about him earlier. But tell us, when you were coming out of high school, was it always Georgia? Or during that recruiting process?
No, it wasn't. And I think so I was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey. People don't know that. And I lived there till I was 4. My daddy always told me growing up, he was like, you're going to be a Scarlet Knight. And I was like, what the heck's a Scarlet Knight? He was like, you're going to go to Rutgers. I was like, no, I'm not. Absolutely not. So we moved down south when I was 6. But the reason I went to Georgia was very, very simple. And I tell people this all the time. They had the best and biggest advantage. My wife, my wife now, she was my girlfriend. I drove to Gainesville with Steve Spurrier when he was there. 5.5 hours. I was like, I ain't doing that to get home to see my baby doll. Like, it's not going to happen. I drove 45 minutes to go to the University of Georgia. So, honestly, I didn't grow up a Georgia fan, but that's how I went there, just being proximity, close to mom and daddy, close to everybody I grew up with. They could scoot up the road and watch me play ball. So, no, it wasn't I didn't grow up barking at the television set or anything like that, but now we do. Now my kids grow up like that, so now they grow up properly.
You're talking about your kid.
Who wanted to race, by the way?
No. They were trying to raise $50,000 tonight as the goal.
Okay.
It's not a race.
I thought somebody was saying you wanted to race me.
No.
I thought you were saying you wanted to race me.
No, you hit a 4.75 in the combine.
Yeah.
You were 265 then. You're saying 240 now. Yeah. I said if you can we'll line it up. If you can do under 475, I'd give $1,000 tonight to the FCA. So
okay.
I didn't know.
There's some turf here. In the back.
We can make it happen. We can get 40 yards. We're going to park. It doesn't matter.
We need to do like 35. I'll give it a whirl. I'd give it a whirl if we can make some money. I'm always up for that.
You were talking about your kids a little bit earlier, and you were talking about FCA and what, doing a lot of speaking engagements for FCA and what kind of FCA meant to you growing up, becoming a new Christian there in high school, going to college. And I know you'll kind of talk about that tonight, but kind of give a preview for some of the people who are listening.
It was huge for me. The FCA does so many things great. The fact that FCA comes to you, you have a built-in relationship. When you're a coach, you have credibility. And when people come to you and you get to know them and they meet you, our schedules as athletes are a little bit more tough. And so the fact that that's done for you, I think you get to build an immediate bond. They came to our dorms. And we did our FCA huddles at our dorms. So I'm a baby Christian, just been saved my senior year of high school, go to college. FCA comes to me. They start to teach me how to memorize the Word of God. They start teaching me how to live my life like I'm supposed to. I had a godly coach and Coach Rick that was unbelievable and amazing to me as well. So FCA changed my life, my journey. It's changed my kids. It's changed the legacy of our family. So we do a lot of these, and the majority of them usually consist of FCA because it's done so much for me and my family.
And how much did that mean to you, honestly? Like a guy who lived in Athens too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I know that temptation and
A lot of it
is hard in Athens, and especially in college, all over the place. But to be able to be a baby Christian, like you said, to go into college to where, 3-time All-American, right? I mean, the world is at your hands. And to be able to have some of that, like, accountability, have those coaches, have those leaders there to be able to kind of lead you in that faith journey.
Well, I think important too, to meet people that are equally yoked. And I think that's, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Like, that's just going to happen. You're going to become who you hang out with. Well, when you're going to FCA with somebody, you kind of figure out, and you get in huddles, you kind of figure out what's in their heart. And you see that they're pursuing something greater. And so got to spend time with Russ Tanner, got to spend time with Bartley Miller and Josh Brock and David Green and those guys, and started to build bonds with them. And it's so important. I tell people all the time when they go to college, like, pick good friends. Like, make sure you pick the right people to hang out with. And because there's plenty of peer pressure. And I remember I had a lot of friends. I remember going out. Like, I didn't go out much, but I remember first thing they tried to do, because I did not drink alcohol. I do not drink alcohol. I'm still not going to. They would first thing they try to do is get you to drink alcohol, right? Like, we're going out in town, let's drink out. And I'm like, I don't drink. And it's hard to say no in the beginning. And I tell my kids this all the time. It's really hard to say no at first. Once you say no, it gets easier. And so saying no, and then those friends, man, I'll never forget, like girls too. I had a girlfriend back home. She was still in high school. So like my wife, she was a junior my freshman year, and then she was a senior my sophomore year. And so girls would come up, and after you make All-American, it becomes a lot easier to meet girls. And my buddies immediately, like after they got to know me and my heart, they were like, no, go away. They weren't trying to lead me astray. They were trying to keep me on the straight and narrow because they knew what I was trying to live for. So I think you build all those relationships and that identity, and FCA was a big part of it.
I think it's so important for really, for all of the listening audience to hear that, who are, have children who are in sports, have children who are, maybe elementary school, middle school, high school. I mean, the younger generations, the younger crowds, to kind of hear that from somebody who's kind of growing up in this area. We kind of talked about this. This is one of the most, Christian places in the entire world. I mean, it really is. And we have so many churches. We have so many faith people here in town. But there is always that temptation. And when you're young and having what FCA of the Ocoee region really does here in our communities around this area, getting kids involved is just so important for what their journey is, through elementary, middle, high, and then even into college and real life now. And so it's great to hear kind of your story and your perspective of what it really means to you.
So you go to Georgia. You're All-American multiple times, but we heard you. Coming over, you're talking about some of your favorite places to play, and you talked about Neyland being loud, LSU being your favorite. What about those games against Florida? Down in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Well, Jacksonville's different because it's 50-50, right. And now it's weird because anytime anybody's on defense, it's loud, which is different. Most of the time for home stadiums. So my freshman year was the hobnail boot game. And I'm sorry for everybody that was listening that's bringing up bad memories. But first of all, 2 things happened in that game. It's the loudest stadium I've ever heard in my life. And I've never had more doubt in my life about who I was. And I say that because I played defensive tackle as a freshman. So I came in as a fullback. Everybody got hurt. Everybody. So they moved me to defensive tackle. I go into that Tennessee game, and I look on the other sideline, and it's Albert Hainsworth and John Henderson. One of these are not like the other, okay? I'm like, I'm not in the right profession here. Like, this is not going to work. Like, what am I doing? But no, when Travis Stevens caught that screen pass, it was the loudest play still to this day I've ever heard in my life. When Verron Haynes caught the touchdown pass, it was the quietest place that I've ever heard in my life. So, LSU at night is crazy. The fans are nuts. I mean, I remember kicking an extra point, and they take the football and they throw it up to the top of the stadium and throw it out of the stadium. I remember getting nice gestures thrown at you on the way to the stadium by people that were over 80. Yeah. Like, I remember getting mooned on the way to the stadium. They shake the bus on the way to the stadium.
Were those over 80 people too, or is that
yes.
Oh no!
Crazy.
Oh man!
Crazy. And so I remember getting to LSU, before the game, I remember we walk out even before we get dressed and before warm-ups, and they put Mike the Tiger right outside your locker room. You talk about whoa, holy cow, like scares you. And you walk on the field, and I'll never forget, like there was the only student section. They were filled 6 hours before the game, 4 hours before the game, and they were chanting, go Georgia.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
sure
they were chanting for sure. They were all on our team.
Yeah.
Talking about kind of all that history of your time playing, and kind of getting into a couple college football questions now, and what we're seeing now, going from where it was all games all the time, that's what it was, to now this NIL stuff. Like, how have you seen college football change over the past 20 years?
Well, it's just really hard to build this continuity team when people can leave. The transfer portal, I would argue, is worse because you can just take up, pack your bag, and go, and then graduate and go again. But you just went somewhere and then go for a little while. And here's the thing. Like, I was 45 minutes away from home, like I told y'all, at Georgia. I was homesick. Everyone's going to be homesick. You got to learn where the library is. Well, if you go. You got to learn, where class is. You got to learn all this stuff. You got to go through some of that growing up that hurts, as opposed to just pulling the ripcord and bailing yourself out and going somewhere else. This ain't for me. So I think that's a part of it. The name, image, and likeness, so that the transfer portal doesn't create this because you got new people all the time. Name, image, and likeness does this too because it's individualized. So name, image, and likeness was created to take advantage of what you've earned. Taking advantage of your name, your image, and your likeness, not pay you to go to school. And that's what it's become, and that's what stinks. But the NCAA is atrocious at what they do and atrocious at implementing rules and stuff. So until they regulate some of this stuff, it's like dog years for these coaches. I mean, they're dying with all the rules. And they used to be able to go on vacation. Now they have to recruit their roster. As soon as the season's over, constantly recruit your own roster because you're getting cherry-picked by other teams.
Well, David, look, I understand there are folks waiting for you in the back here. So
yeah, we'll go play some tennis.
You're going to go play
I heard
some
you're
tennis.
a really good tennis player.
Well, no,
Below average.
they lied.
Yeah.
They really, it's kind of like the clothing. It's just crazy. You know what I mean?
Just big clothes.
Just big clothes, and it makes it look even better. David, welcome to Cleveland, buddy.
Thank you.
You're gonna have fun tonight.
Appreciate it, brother. Yes,
all
sir.
right, man.
Thank you.
All
dudes.
right, we got
Appreciate
some
y'all, dudes.
folks back here waiting on David Pollock. So glad to have him in Cleveland. I wish I meant that, but anyway, get out. Good Lord. Start attacking me? I mean, what? You guys are horrible influences on this man. He was a Christian before he came. My God.
He said you're only as good as the 5 people you're closest with.
Oh, no.
Hey, listen. I started thinking about that.
Oh,
I started
man.
thinking about that, and I about got up and walked
I
out.
know. I might as well leave.
I was like 1, 2. Okay.
Well, and the great thing is, and both of you guys have loved him on game day, especially in his broadcast career, 13 years on ESPN, and but he can articulate his faith, and we're going to hear that tonight.
Absolutely. It's a big night. Again, sellout crowd, the largest crowd in FCA banquet history. Just looking for big things, and what a great guy to have.
Josh, so here it is. I mean, your family's been behind FCA for an awful long time, and I think I'm actually sitting at your table tonight. So,
Are you?
Well, I don't know.
You're more than welcome to.
Well, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the FCA we've been huge supporters for a long time. I think it kind of really started when I was young, right? I mean, I played sports when I was young, and I thought it was a great opportunity for my parents thought it was a great opportunity for me to be able to be around other athletes, be around other coaches, and have kind of that kind of continuity, like David was talking about, of faith, of sports, and everything else, and then coming back up here to Cleveland and Bradley County, just to see what FCA does in the high school, middle school levels, and not just here in Bradley County, but in Polk and McMinn, Meigs, and all over. They just do God's work and really reach the students and student athletes, and it's been a phenomenal thing.
Well, I can see that you have more visitors.
Well,
one good, the other not so much.
Well, I
That's
mean,
fine.
now that's not very nice. Come on in, guys. Come on in here.
Yep.
Jason.
Always great to see you, Steve.
Whatever. Get out. Go find Pollock. By the way, David Pollock already has a restraining order against Rogers and Shelton. Who knew?
Don't we all?
Well, I was actually going to say that. I mean, there is absolutely nothing new here. We are now joined by Jason Cox and Michelle Dunkel. And Jason, I know that you are now with FCA. How long you been with FCA?
Right at a year now.
So it's been about a year.
Yeah.
What's it been like over this last year for you?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I've got to do ministry in new areas that I've never done before, specifically on baseball fields and softball fields and basketball courts and pickleball courts, and it's just opened a whole new world of opportunity for me to share Jesus with people.
And you are very at home in those places. I mean, you really are.
Now, not as much on like the tennis court as say you are.
Well, let's not get crazy.
Yeah, I think Bridget's better than you, right?
She's
You know, I
much
hear
better.
Don't I hear that on the radio?
Yeah,
this
she's
morning?
much better than me.
So, but yeah, I do love being on the ball fields and the athletic competition fields for sure. So.
Michelle, good evening. How are
Good
you?
evening. I'm well. How are you?
Good. So, speaking of tennis,
Yes.
I understand that there's a big announcement being made, I think, here tonight that we're going to go ahead and mention. I
Yes.
think it's probably already been made, but what a wonderful opportunity this summer.
Yeah, so Kay McDaniel has had her tennis camp at Lee, 31 years. And last year was her last year. We kind of sent her off as a legacy year. And in talks with her, she's a dear friend of mine, love her, worked with her 12 years doing the camps and registration and stuff like that. And just prayerfully asked her if she would be willing and open to FCA kind of absorbing that in honor of her. And so she just, was so thankful and just overwhelmed. And so it's our honor to do the Kay McDaniel Legacy Tennis Camp, brought to you by FCA Sports and FCA in general by the Ocoee region. So
Yeah, I'm working real hard to get Chris Green and Denny Collins to come kind of be our lead coaches, but
Yes.
they keep telling me no.
Well,
so I don't know.
They stumble on the Christian part of the FCA.
Well, that's
Fellowship
probably
of Christian Athletes, and then it's all. No, I love this. I think it's wonderful. I've known Kay a long time, and I'm so glad to see this continue.
Me too.
So what do you tell the public that may be watching tonight that may be interested in that? What do you say to them? How do they get information or get involved?
Yeah, so we have several things already out, social media-wise, on the Ocoee Region website, I believe, Lee University on their website. You can go on there and find information. It has our contact information for registration or detailed information, if needed, about times and what to bring and what's going to be offered. And, so
it's going to be in the summer like hers has always been, is that right?
Yes, the only thing it will not be the first week of June that it typically is.
Okay.
We did have to move it to July 8th through the 11th, so that is a little bit of a change, but we're hopeful kiddos still want to come.
Absolutely. Jason, what else is happening with you and the FCA? Anything else you want to bring up?
Well, let me mention OcoeeFCAsports.org is our registration website. So anyone listening out there, OcoeeFCAsports.org. Just click registration and you'll see Kay McDaniel Legacy Tennis Clinic. In other areas of FCA Sports, which is my world, and the Kay McDaniel tennis just fits so well. It was just a perfect fit. And we're so honored to get to do that and carry on her legacy. But, of course, we're working in the pickleball world. We've got pickleball, a kids club active right now. They're about to go play in a tournament here in a couple of weeks. Wow. And we've got a pickleball club at both Ocoee Middle School and Walker Valley. We've got another one that is forming at Silverdale Academy down in Chattanooga, hoping to get into to Lake Forest and Bradley and Cleveland and all the places around here. We just need a champion. So if you're out there, you love pickleball, and you teach at Bradley High School, tell Patrick Spangler you need to talk to me. He knows how to get in touch with me. So we're doing that. And then, of course, now we are wide open in baseball and softball. Yep. So we're doing that. So there's all kinds of things coming our way. I was telling my mom just yesterday, I believe I put FCA Bibles in about somewhere around 200 to 225 kids' hands last year through youth sports. Wow. And so like people that contribute to FCA, that's what you're giving to. You're giving to for us to build the opportunity to do that, and then for us to actually purchase the Bibles and hand it to a 12-year-old or a 9-year-old, and then share Jesus with them. Yeah. And so what an incredible opportunity to do that. So you think of FCA in the schools, and we love that. That is unbelievable that we can get in the schools, but it's also happening on the competition fields outside the school campuses.
Michelle Dunkel, how did you get involved in FCA?
So started in high school, started out just a little bit there, knowing a little bit about a friend who invited me, and I was hooked from there. And then, of course, I grew up, had kids, and all that went away from it. But it's never been away from my heart. Even through church stuff, we've always supported FCA and our local partners years and years as they rotate a little bit here and there. Robert Green's a great friend who got us in early on. So it's been a huge part of our own just support and personal ministry from our family and our church as well. And so one opportunity for me to serve locally, on the college campus at Tennessee Wesleyan, but just to be able to provide people opportunity to learn about the Lord. And using
athletics.
Yes.
And we love athletics around here, and it's a great way to reach people for the Lord.
Yeah.
Jason, talk about tonight. Here we are, and if you're just joining us, we are sitting in an empty First Baptist. No, Jeff Lovingood is not speaking, and this is the crowd that shows up. Because one would think that would be the situation, as you told me earlier. Thank you. That's a good point. When Lovingood speaks, it's about the crowd they get. No, but talk about tonight, because this place is going to be packed. We've got a big crowd out here, and David Pollock tonight. But it's beyond just the speaker. What does tonight mean?
Well, to have 55 tables sold out a week ago, and some of those are Georgia fans. Some of those are people that loved watching David Pollock, and we all love the messages he's sending out there. But most of these people here are here to support the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. They love what FCA does on our campuses and other places, and they're just here to support. People know why they come to these functions. They're not, there are some Georgia fans here, and we're excited for them. And we've already met David. He's an incredible guy, saying some wonderful things right now in the sports community. But so many of these people here love Jesus, and they just want to support the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And on behalf of like Michelle and myself and all the rest of our staff, we are so honored by that. We're humbled that people would support the work that we're doing, in this realm. So
letting us truly be kind of missionaries in a sense here on our local field, and be able to reach people for Christ and give kids opportunities to go to camp. Man, that's one of the big things tonight, is to get kids to camp. It changes their life when they can totally unplug for a week, go have fun, play sports, but hear the word and let the word work. God's word's alive, it's well, and it's working. So.
And a big portion of what comes in tonight goes right to sending kids to camp.
Yes.
I don't know if it's half, I don't know the number, but we will
Just one layer
scholarship.
Of it. Yeah,
we
it's a
will
big part of it
scholarship a
tonight.
whole lot of kids from tonight's benefit.
Yes.
And so it's such an honor. Thank you to everybody that gives. If you're out there and you're listening and you love FCA, or it impacted your life, we'd love to talk with you about how you could become a part of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
If you would give the website again, Jason Cox, Michelle Dunkel, join me here.
It is OcoeeFCAsports.org.
I'm glad you learned how to read. I think that's the first miracle of the night. That's pretty good.
Bradley County Education,
Are
baby.
you ready for SEC Saturday with Shelton and Rogers and myself?
Do I have to do it again?
I don't know. Shelton keeps retiring.
Shelton quits every year.
Speaking of retirement, there's
Rod-
Mark Brew. My gosh, he looks retired,
Mark
doesn't he?
Brew is never going to retire.
Come
He's
here.
not allowed.
Come here,
He's
Coach.
he's-
Shelton, come here.
He's got to coach his kid over the next few years.
I know that. Thank you guys very
Thank
much.
you, Steve. Thanks for
We
being
are
here.
live at First Baptist Cleveland, and we got a baseball crew here now. He's just won 700 games, and Mark Brew, the head baseball coach at Lee University. How are you?
Doing great, Steve. And Steven.
Do you still have any sauce on you from last night?
No. I don't participate in those things.
Well, I know you don't, but you do afterwards.
Participate in the food. No, all good. So it's going well.
Sheldon, what do you say about Mark Brew, huh?
Well,
That we can say on here.
Good friend. I can remember when Coach Brew came to Cleveland with Coach Alltop. Been here for a long time and has done a great job with the baseball program at Lee. I mean, you look at that facility, and it's second to none. I've played at a lot of places, and which was a long time ago, but to see Lee and be able to travel and see some other places, just top notch. And so what they've been able to do over there, putting kids in the pros, it's just an amazing run that he's had, and going to be an interesting run now that he's got a secondary Brew that's coming in a year or two to play.
right.
So, but I know you, Coach, you're going to talk about Military Appreciation Night and you guys serving tonight. But real quick, how hard was it to recruit your son?
Well, I say it's all fun and games with my son until he doesn't play and Mom puts him on the transfer portal. It puts me on the couch.
Was there
One
any
of those two things are going to
She'll
happen.
put you in the
here,
transfer portal, by the way.
Was there any conflict with the NILs or anything? I'm just trying to figure out. But I'll go back.
all above board, We didn't do any. We didn't slide any money under the table. anything
No
like
allowance,
that,
no increased allowance.
Just told him I'd give him some gas money.
But I'll say this for Coach Brew to be kind of an imposing figure, to go to different sporting events, and even when his son was in middle school, I'll never forget, he didn't follow through when he threw the baseball, and so I'm helping Coach Wilson out there a little bit, and so he's throwing long toss, and Mark's over here and by the fence, and I'll never forget, I was about to walk in the gym and I was like, follow through, and he looked up at me, he goes, Like, I mean,
So things he'd already heard.
yeah, but I tell you, I never saw him inject himself into a game, into any. He may have when he got home, then that's fine. That's when you're supposed to do it, parents. But that's when. But we've watched him grow, and what a player he's become, and I think he's got a great future ahead at Lee or wherever he transfers to.
We're excited, and I'm excited. It's gonna have challenges coaching your own son, but at the same time, like I think the good outweighs the bad, and so super excited for sure.
Coach, let's talk about FCA for a moment. Yeah. It's a big night here. What does FCA mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, back when Robert Green was running the Ocoee area FCA, and we would serve this event back then. Robert was one of the first people I reached out to when I became a head coach to, number one, hold me accountable as a coach. Like I felt like we needed a presence in our locker room in regards to making sure we were doing things the right way and treating kids the right way and providing them, outlets and things like that to grow spiritually. And, we all want to win games. We all want to be great at X's and O's. But at the same time, I learned a long time ago from my mentor, Coach Dave Altop, like there's way more to it than that. And so FCA's been tremendous asset for us at Lee, and then obviously in our program with Lee Baseball, and then Matt has continued to carry that forward, and really done a great job. And so we're super excited to serve here tonight. We got we got 38 guys that'll go in there and hopefully be good waiters and not drop any water on any dignitaries like Steve or Steven or anybody like that.
Well, just drop it. Well, Shell and I will pay you to drop it on Pollock.
Yeah,
at this point, he comes in hot on me.
We've got a lot of Tennessee fans inside that group, and and then I got one Georgia guy. He asked if he could wear his Georgia polo tonight, not his Lee polo, and I said absolutely not.
He said no.
No, can't happen.
Coach, tell us about Military Appreciation Day. This has been something that's near and dear to your heart, and I know it's something that you've really grown over the years.
Yeah, I mean, we're super excited. Obviously it looked initially like the weather was going to be a problem for the weekend, but it's kind of cleared out on Saturday now. I think it's going to be great, and it's just been a great event for the community where we provide a day to honor the service of men and women in our community, and we just want to, like I said, come alongside. When I researched this event, when we started to birth it and make it happen, like we have over 7,000, I think at the time I did it, in the Bradley County general area that had served, or were currently serving. And so, the community's so steeped in service in the military. And so, and obviously we got our local 252nd military National Guard military unit. And, so it just something that I wanted to, say thanks. That was the main goal of this. And we've been blessed with some great sponsors. Bank of Cleveland been a tremendous sponsor. Zaxby's, as we were there last night doing the live remote on the buzz, and just great businesses like that. There's so many of them that have stepped up. And, we just cleared the $100,000 hurdle last year and providing resources to organizations in the community. This year, the Disabled American Veterans Organization will be the recipient of the funds, and so we're well on our way to providing them some nice things to be able to do some nice things for veterans that have those type of needs, whether it be wheelchair ramps or build-in projects and things like that to make homes more accessible for them, as they go through that. So it's special to watch that happen, and these great organizations, and we're just honored to play a small part in it.
Well, we, of course, are so glad to have you back. And what's coming up as far as the schedule is concerned for Lee Baseball? I know, obviously, this Saturday.
Yeah, obviously, we play Delta State tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Okay.
Tomorrow night, a single game at 6 p.m., and you can catch that with the legendary George Starr.
Oh, yeah, the bright and shiny.
I think a few people have heard of him. Travis Godfrey might be on there if they'll let him inside.
It's
the gate.
The excuses he throws on Facebook about he's not there sometimes.
I mean, I've heard that.
We've broke down, to a new level of low, to grab Travis and provided George some support up there. But
I'm not sure I call it support, but it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, a free hot dog now.
But yeah, big weekend for us personally as a team. Delta State's got a tremendous program. We got a game lead in first place right now. They're in third place, and so it'll be a super weekend in regards to the competitiveness on the field. And then obviously we'll bounce back on Saturday, with all the festivities starting around 12:15. We ask everybody be there prior to that, right around that 12 o'clock window on Saturday, so we can start that pregame service and honor those men and women in our community. And so we're super excited about that. And like I said, looks like a great weekend in regards to that, and really, really excited.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach Mark Brew, thank you very much, Lee University, and I guess we'll see you out here, and don't drop my rubber chicken or whatever we're eating, so it should be fun.
If I play basketball with it, don't eat it, okay?
That'll be good. Coach, great to see you, buddy.
Good to see
this
you,
is where
Steve.
you exit. Thank you. Okay,
Steve.
I guess he's waiting on the band to play him off. I mean, my Lord, what do I have to say? Well, he's mean to me all the time. So anyway, talk about how great I was in racquetball. There we go. He was my racquetball teacher at Lee. So, anyway. Shelton, I mean, my goodness, and you missed it earlier. I said, as you see, the crowd is there's nobody here, just like when Jeff Lovingood is asked to speak. This is all the people who show up.
This is true. I will say that I don't know what security, they've got this whole thing roped off where nobody can get in here. So
yeah, I know.
Since Pollock's been here, I've had police. it's unbelievable. But no, it's like I said, it's really starting to pick up outside. People started getting here around 5:30 and after, and so I think that again tonight, number one, it's about the Lord. That and what He is doing through these individuals of the FCA to reach or impact or influence our youth, and whether that be middle school, high school, or even at Lee and Cleveland State, Tennessee Wesleyan. But secondly, this is not, we can't do this for free, and so it takes a lot of resources for FCA Ocoee to be able to really provide the things and outreaches that they do, whether it's tennis camps, whether it's football camps, 7-on-7, all the things they're going to do this summer that I'm sure Matt will speak about, but that takes resources. And tonight they're looking, Matt told me earlier this week if they could raise $50,000 tonight, and we have 50 tables basically, 55 tables. So if each table gathered up with 8 people could give $1,000 apiece, that's going to get them through everything they need to do. And we're talking about, it comes out, you can do the math on this, it comes out to all the kids who are going to participate this summer, it's going to come out to about $83 per child for the entire summer.
Really?
So
That's it.
$50,000 will go $83 per child to be able to allow these kids to participate in these outreaches they're going to provide.
I think we have them right here. Come on up. We have Olivia Calthy.
Beauty and the Beast.
And we have Matt Moore. Come on up. Come on up here. Olivia and Matt. Olivia hopefully will lead more of the conversation with David Pollock.
Oh, my word.
Oh, no,
I'm excited.
Yeah, it literally, I told Olivia a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm just going to stay, the camera's going to pan off of me, let those two talk. There's a professional journalist. I'm just a dairy farmer from Southeast Tennessee.
I don't really remember you working very much.
I worked a lot, man.
Yeah.
Olivia, welcome back to
Thank
Cleveland.
you. Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
Are you?
Yeah, this is awesome.
And you're an FCA alum at Cleveland High, is that right?
That is correct. Yeah.
She
And
was
once,
Athlete of the Year at Cleveland
I
High.
was.
FCA
Excuse me.
Athlete of the Year at Cleveland High
Excuse
School.
you.
Whoa,
See?
pardon
Right.
me. I'm so sorry.
Let me pat
Thank
that.
you for all my notes.
together.
Let me pat that down. Jason Cox and I were too in 1996.
Oh,
So it doesn't mean success. It really
man, alive. Whoa.
You can look at you two, and Olivia obviously raised the standard.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
there's
Okay.
that.
true.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Wow.
right.
Well, that means a lot.
Well,
Thank you.
I will tell you about Olivia. And, you started out and went into sports broadcasting.
Yes.
But then got into news in Eastern Kentucky, won a big award, and we talked about it a few
Oh,
months
my
ago. Well, your mother gave me all these notes here. So anyway.
Oh,
No,
Lori
but talk
Calfee,
ab-
what do we do with her?
I know. So, she wants to be interviewed next.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I believe
Talk about being in news in Kentucky, and when you went up there, you went at a very disastrous time up in Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, I always say that's such a big part of my story, and moving to Eastern Kentucky, it's not where I wanted to be. I love home. I love being around my family. I love Cleveland, Tennessee. I never saw myself here forever. I had other places that I felt like I would go, but it was never Eastern Kentucky, and that is for sure. But yeah, I moved there, and about 3 weeks later, there was historic flooding. It was terrible. It's changed who I am as a person. I think it's made me realize my purpose in news and finding the good and the bad. And so I love it. I love sports still, but news, I think, is where I'm supposed to be in some ways.
So tonight you'll talk to David Pollock, you along with Matt. Hopefully you'll do more of the talking. But
please.
But what are you looking forward to hearing tonight from him? But also with your history with the FCA at Cleveland High School.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to get to talk to him about who he is as a person. I think he has been one person that's a lot of people have watched over the years because of his faith and how he is outspoken about that. And I think that's awesome. I think that we need more David Pollocks in the world. I think we need more people who are loud. They talk about their faith. And I think that's awesome. And I'm just excited he says we can ask him anything.
Oh, wow. Is that right?
No matter what
not
we
you.
want.
I can.
But we can't.
He came up here and busted me a new one, basically.
Actually, the first thing he said when we were back there speaking, he said yesterday he was speaking to a chemical company, and the guy was interviewing him. He said, anything you want to ask, nothing's off the table. And the guy said, I think you got fired from ESPN because of your faith.
Oh, man.
And I said, he goes, didn't say I'd answer any questions. You can
ask one.
Just said you could ask any questions. But he is very, listen, Josh and them rode up with him on the flight and then bringing him over. Genuine guy, you can tell. Just a family guy, was so proud of his son. He cleaned 200 pounds as a freshman. He said, I look at my son, there's a picture up here, and he said, I look at him now, he's 6'1". He said 200 pounds as a freshman. He goes, I'm sitting there going,
You're just getting all the people in our local area like, hey, can he come play for both
yeah,
Eagles?
yeah. Actually, I had to ask a couple of high school coaches to get out of the van. It's fine. But no, he like I said, he's a genuine guy. I think Olivia's going to do a great job tonight with him, and I think he's so genuine with his answers and the way he presents himself. It's going to be a fantastic night.
Matt, it's a big night.
Yeah.
It's an important night,
Yeah.
especially from a financial standpoint, as Shelton's been talking about here in the last few minutes.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is important on the financial end because to do what we want to do in our community, it is. We have so many people, Steve, though, that support us on that monthly basis that are in our corner. Everybody on our staff raises their funds, 100% of it, so they can work and serve. So, like, if we take you out to lunch, it's probably because we've had some people supporting us to help us be kind. We want to get Bibles for people. We have to ask folks in the community to help do that. When we have those monthly partners, it goes a long, long way. But this summer, we're doing a lot of special things. I know you've already had Michelle and Jason in talking about the K. McDaniel camp.
That's exciting.
We've got a middle school football camp that's happening. I can't call it a camp. It's a one-day tournament. But all of our middle school football coaches in our community said we want to do something for our guys that goes more than just play football. We want them to hear about Jesus. We want them to be good young men in our community. So every one of those guys is going to get a Bible. Every one of those guys is going to hear Frank Walker's going to come share with us. We're going to have local pastors from all of our, for every school that's represented from Chilhowie to Ray County to Silverdale. We'll have local people that are going to meet with them at lunch and do a devotion with them. And and then Jason Cox with FCA Sports is doing all kinds of clinics this summer. And because we have a heart to feel like we ask a lot from our community a lot of times. We want to find ways to give back to our community. We are a local ministry, and we want to be locally present. So I think I heard Stephen talking earlier about that we were, at a minimum, we're probably going to impact a minimum 600 young people this summer. With just what we have planned, we know there's more. And so we really do have a goal at this event and on, like, 50K would get us, that's like $83 for 600 kids. Like, that's not that hard. People spend more of that on subscriptions for Netflix and all the other things, so they don't even know what they cost anymore. It just keeps going up. But we have such an opportunity, Steve, in our community. We talk about Jesus. We talk about ministry a lot. We're in places like First Baptist. We're so grateful that they're letting us be here. We have so many churches in our community. There needs to be a way not just to ask people to come to a building, but FCA is an opportunity for people to come and be in the places where people are. And just like Olivia's talked about, Olivia has a heart for Jesus and lives it out in Eastern Kentucky. One of the reasons we brought her in was because I know her walk with Jesus, her heart for people, and her ability to say, hey, I get to tell people stories that are hurting. I got to be beside people where they are, and she can love them and care for them in a way that only comes around because she has a relationship with Jesus. And we want to bring the good people in our community that love the Lord, connect them back to good ministry, and connect them back to what we're doing. So.
I do want to mention, Matt, earlier, well, a
Scared.
little serious, actually.
Okay,
this
good.
past Sunday evening, one of the
Yes.
co-founders of FCA here locally, Steve Sloan,
Yeah.
one of the great
Yeah.
legends of all time, passed away at the age of 79. And my goodness, what he did, of course, at Bradley, at Alabama with Bear Bryant, in the pros, then in college coaching, and then in administration, but he never changed. He was a dear friend of mine, and he never, ever changed.
And that's what we want to help develop, right? To help pour into young people that will make a decision wherever they land their foot. Because they're going to play. Athletics will come and go. Yeah. There's a cap to how long you'll play. LeBron will eventually retire. Tom Brady will eventually retire. There's stuff that you cannot do anymore. But who you are when you walk in the room, you can't just hang your hat on, hey, I'm an athlete, or hey, I've done this really well. It's, man, my relationship with God. So Steve showed that from the beginning when he first came back to this community and talked to Steve Gibson, his good friend, and said, hey, we need to start this at Bradley. This needs to happen. When is this going to happen? When we went to Alabama, hey, we're going to make this happen. Like, our community is different because of people like that. And I think we're pouring into people in our community that are doing the very same thing in FCA. And so I think we have a great, again, opportunity to continue to build. What a terrible steward we would be of the work of a Steve Sloan, Steve Gibson, that poured into stuff and say, hey, you know what? We've done enough. That was a time gone by. What we're doing is planting shade trees for 20 years from now. So the folks that come tonight, the folks that are listening right now, there's so many ways to support us, so many ways to come around us. We're so grateful for Mix 104, man. I know sometimes people think that you're rude and terrible. There's a whole hate
I
page.
understand,
Not sometimes. Not
understand what this is about.
But
This is unfortunate.
I want this to be recorded so you can listen to this at night. There are people that really know your heart, Steve, and we're grateful for you. I know you want to say something, but there's people.
Pass out.
We are in church, so
go.
me saying this is a risk.
Thank you.
But listen, but folks like Mix 104, other folks like yourself that come behind and support us, and there's other people that help make this night happen that said, hey, I don't want my name on anything.
Yeah.
We just want this night to be a great night. So we're grateful for this.
Well, and Mark Tipton was my FCA sponsor at Cleveland High School.
I think that's why he
and,
left Cleveland High. He's
Well,
like,
he did.
know,
I mean, I noticed
hey,
he wasn't there long.
Yeah, he's like, hey,
my English teacher,
Steve Hartline,
sophomore year.
He's been praying for you for a long time.
He really has, Coach T. Well, Olivia, anything else you want to add here, just about this night here?
I mean, I'm just so excited to be back here. This is the first FCA spring banquet that I've been at since I graduated high school, which is crazy. I'm being away for college. I wasn't far, but it always fell on a night that I wasn't able to make it back into town. And just to be able to come back and be a part of this is so exciting for me. I've seen FCA play a huge role in my life and my family's life and people's lives around me, and I think it is a lot of why I am who I am today, and so I'm excited.
So let me translate, Matt. What she's saying is she'd like another award tonight. So if we could work on this. Last time she was here, she's Athlete of the Year. She wants another award.
I need something else.
Yeah, get her.
We'll work on that.
Yeah.
We'll work on that. I mean,
love it.
she gets to hang out with Greg Calfee. What else?
Well,
is
there you
what
go.
better reward is
There you
Greg
go.
There
and
is
Lori Calfee?
no
Come
one
on.
better.
There you go. There
You
you
set
go.
the standard for us dads, like no doubt. No
That's
doubt.
right. So I guess the schedule, they're going to be eating out here and then coming
Yeah.
in here. Is that right?
Yeah. So the goal is, I mean, again, I don't know where else we would have had this in Cleveland. If our city fathers are listening, we need to find an event venue that fits, that feels like a space that people want to be in, not just another gym that's converted or whatever. Our churches have fantastic, but we're at capacity. We've got 55 tables out here, and I'm on the dog list at First Baptist for a little bit, I think, but we've got 55 tables out here at a max of what we can do with a plated meal, and we're going to eat out there first, obviously, and then we're going to come in here because we want everybody to have a comfortable place to see everything. It's going to be a great environment right here in the worship center here at First Baptist. And, man, we're going to have a great night. Everything starts at 6. Like, when I say that, if you're listening and you're on your way, you're getting yourself ready, and you're thinking, hey, when we can get there a little bit later. 6 o'clock, man, we're praying for our food, and we're going to start eating. We're going to put the lead baseball team guys are here to put food on their table for us, and we're going to have a great night. So make sure you're here. If you're unable to make it for some reason, I can say this now. If you can't make it for the meal and you just want to hear a good word and you want to sneak in the back, you have my permission to come in.
Wow.
And
Wish I'd have known that, Shelton. I didn't understand that was the deal.
but here's why. Here's why, Stephen, because I really feel like like David Pollock, his message, his word, his encouragement is going to be good. And it's for somebody here. Yeah, we're raising money, but my prayer, we prayed earlier today, our prayer was that the life change happens tonight. That's the goal. That's the goal. If we don't raise a penny and someone says, hey, I gave my life to Jesus, come on, let's do it.
How do people get more information about FCA of the Ocoee region?
Yeah, so you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can go to ocoeefca.org, and you can find everything you want to know. You can see our staff. You can find ways to give, ways to support. If you want to volunteer, there's spaces to find that as well. If you don't want to ever go on the internet, but you just want to send an email, mmore@fca.org. Email me there. We want to help you get connected to what we're doing.
Wow. All right. Thank you both very much. I know you got a lot to do to get ready. And Shelton, can you hear the band? I mean, my Lord, the band's playing.
It's like Sparta.
No, you're always welcome. Come on.
Both of them?
No, not both of them.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, come on back, Joshua. Commissioner Rogers here. Austin Chadwick has done a tremendous job. Nash, what's your last name? Nash Wooten is here, and these guys have set us up and done a tremendous job.
Well, if I knew I could have just snuck in this place, I wouldn't have donated all that money and time.
Alive, I know.
Next year, he can
Man, he buried the lead there.
Hey, is FCA going to be here next year too? All right, I'll just sneak in next year.
Yeah, you just said we can sneak in.
Don't
come back.
Don't
Don't walk it back now, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't walk it back.
Don't call me.
Yeah. Oh, man. Guys, what about it?
I've got to say, man, we've kind of had this conversation earlier, but what Matt does and how he leads this team, unbelievable. You know, the amount and the impact that Matt and his team and, with his leadership that FCA of the Ocoee region is having on our communities is unbelievable.
Well, first of all, if you don't like Matt Moore, you just don't like people. I mean, he's a genuine guy, great family. Grew up in Charleston there on the dairy farm, and he's been the same guy forever. He's not a guy that just changed overnight. This is who he is. But his ability to motivate others. Matt's not a salesman. No. Not whatsoever. Terrible salesman. And I tell him all the time, like, he called me the other day. I said, what do you need? Well, I said, Matt, I'm busy. Just what do you need? And so, but I'll tell you one thing he does do. He attracts good people that want to get behind things that he believes in, and he truly, truly believes in FCA and trying to present the gospel to these kids and these young people to, like David Pollock said, FCA changed his life, his family, and the trajectory of his family's future, and so for generations to come because of FCA. So what the work they're doing is, listen, and you know what, it's thankless work.
It really is.
It's they're not getting any awards, they're not getting pats on the back, they're not making tons of money. They're going out and getting their own support. But I tell you, what they're doing is something that will impact more than all of us together are doing, and they do it every single day without complaint.
Yeah, we always talk about every year, like we come in and support so many different organizations throughout the year, and we always give. And it's, this town is one of the most giving towns and giving communities that there ever is. But if you want to make an instant impact, and not just an instant impact, but a long-lasting impact on people's eternal placement, not just their place here on this earth, but their eternal placement, FCA is the one place that you want to start. And because it gets into the schools, it gets into sports programs. And the great thing is, too, is obviously, right, fellowship of Christian athletes, but it's not just athletes. It's all high school, it's all middle school, it's all elementary school students that are getting in, and even college students, too, at our local universities. And so if you want to give, if you want to help raise funds, if you want to help be able to be the behind the scenes helping people, helping these guys lead people to Christ, I tell you, man, it's unbelievable to be able to get it and be a part of your local FCA program.
Hey, Fruit Loops, come on over here. Let's talk to you for a second. I want to get your take on all this. He's been here several hours. Today would be nice. What's wrong with you? Man, you're slow. No one cares. How's it going?
It's good.
Yeah, it's just like the morning. You're slow to come on the air with me.
I am.
And
the microphone.
Speaking of the microphone.
Hold it up like this, right?
Yeah. Over your face would help.
Yes.
Anyway, So what do you think about all this?
It's such an incredible opportunity to be able to meet and just see all the people that really influence our kids in this area and on a day-to-day basis, like you guys were talking about. But I mean, I remember I was part of FCA. It was really one of the only things that I did in high school that really really influenced my life and showed me that that there's a bigger community that support the Christians around here. And so I loved being a part of that while I was in high school. And
Was that your 6th or 7th year in high school that you were in the FC? I couldn't remember.
That was my 5th run in high school.
5th run, okay,
yeah,
that's nice.
Not too bad, but
It was me that had to go 6
Oh, wait
years.
a second. Yeah, I know.
Wrong person.
I know it's somewhere around here. I don't know.
no, but it is. It's an incredible night. It's an incredible opportunity, and really, as you guys were talking about, I mean, this is something that you can support and know that what you're doing is actually impacting lives in our community, and with all the camps and everything else that we've talked about tonight. So.
Well, we're about to wrap it up here. It's been a great night at First Baptist. As we're the pre-show, and of course I had to do it by myself last year, as you remember. I was there all alone.
Are you kidding me?
Westmore Church of God.
Look,
I'll tell you.
that's
I,
scary.
So,
they didn't show up, as you remember.
do you want to officially announce that we're done with everything with Mick?
Oh, man. Good.
Done after
Thank
tonight.
God.
Yeah.
We'll get some
Since
professionals.
I started working at this station, you guys have quit like
Every year.
200 times.
Shelton's retired
So-
several times.
I am.
Yeah.
I've actually listened. And the good thing about this year is I've got my paperwork drawn up.
Ah.
I've already turned it in Social Security,
Yeah.
so I'm done.
You're the Sugar Ray Leonard. You just keep retiring every year. I want to go around the panel one more time. Josh, anything you'd like to add here? We're about to sign off.
Listen, you heard Matt. If you're listening, driving down the road, you want to come hear David Pollock speak tonight, you want to come be a part of an awesome night, wait till about, 6:30 after dinner's done. Sneak in. Come on in.
Speaking of
And
sneaking in.
Yeah, he heard it.
Sneak in,
He
Lord,
heard it as he was
yeah, he
driving.
did.
He didn't pay
come
to
watch
be
a
here.
great night.
He didn't pay to be here. This guy.
We got one more member of our crew who I just saw, Greg Phillips, of course. And here he is. Look at
Gregory.
this. How are you, buddy?
Good. Good.
The new face of Friday Night Football and mixedtv.tv.
that's right.
And
well, they're retiring.
we're quitting and you're in.
we couldn't be that lucky.
No, well, that's exactly what I said.
I just had a conversation with David Pollock about these guys. It's been interesting.
That was his
Some of the stuff I
initiative.
found out.
Well, that was his initiative.
I said that I'd give $1,000 a night if he could beat that 4.75 he ran in the combine. He says he's 25 pounds lighter. I said, well, let's do it. He said, I'm 20 years older. I said, I hear excuses.
Yeah, that's all it was.
That's a lot of word. Just a lot of word speak.
That's all it is. Hey, Greg, we're going around the panel, about to sign off here, but just your thoughts on tonight and this tremendous night here at First Baptist.
It's just super great for our community, super great for FCA. I mean, it's just a great experience for people to come and be a part of it, and for First Baptist to open up the facility and to be able to do those things, to do those things like that here. And again, just FCA is just such an important part of our community for what it does, all the lives it's changed, all the things that it does behind the scenes and all that. So just a great organization, great for our community, and just love to see the great things that happen because of FCA.
So tonight, 6 o'clock. Rogers, did you talk? Usually,
Yeah, you cut
well,
me,
I
but
tuned
it's all
out.
good.
What,
Okay.
well, finish your thought.
No,
Well, I
I'm just
saw
saying,
Phillips
hey,
running in here.
Listen, just like Greg.
You didn't see him running.
Be
that's
careful.
not the case.
We don't want to lie in the church.
Well, I don't know. Look who I'm with.
Good point.
Hey, I will just say, if you're wanting to hear a dynamic speaker, if you're wanting to sneak in the back door and come in and listen to somebody who's going to really hit home, bring the word of God, and talk about his faith, his journey, David Pollock's the guy. And, 3-time All-American at Georgia, first-round draft pick, NFL draft, and obviously was on College Game Day famously for so many years. He's going to sneak in, and he's going to, and really, I've got to kind of hear what he's going to talk about tonight, and I think it's going to pull a lot of heartstrings tonight about your faith.
Summer 1995, University of North Carolina at Asheville. I go to baseball camp. The late Ron Spangler, the late great Ron Spangler, just basically told me I was going. And so I went over there and met the Lord for the first time in June of 1995. And I said then, if I want to be a guy one day to be able to provide kids with the same opportunity. And the Lord has been able to bless me in ways that has made that happen. And so earlier this week, I'm not a guy that likes to mince words very much. And so had a guy said, well, how much do they need? I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, how much? I mean, they're raising all this money. And I said, yeah. I said, it's what it takes to operate the FCA. He said, well, how much is enough? I said, how much is a soul worth?
That's it.
So as you think about that and you think about giving, they're doing things that most of us don't have time to do, nor the patience to do. Because if you've been to some of these events, it's like herding cats, and a lot of us are not built that way. And so I just think that at the end of the day, what they're doing is going to impact this community much greater than almost anything else that's being done.
And in places that we don't go.
Absolutely.
Or allowed to go, really.
Good point.
For on behalf of the Three Stooges here, there they
I
are.
will say this:
What?
best speech of the night.
What do you want?
Pollock talking about you're like the 5 friends around you.
You're the sum of
You're the sum of the 5 people around you.
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
Just let that hit deep down.
Man,
I need a new friend group, Steve.
I know.
Absolutely.
I just need a friend group.
Yeah, good
Friends
point.
like these,
Yeah,
who
good
needs
point.
enemies?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
All right. It's been an honor, no kidding, being here tonight and just ushering in what will be a great night back here. And then on this stage, David Pollock will address the FCA Legacy Banquet tonight. Again, big thanks to Austin and to Nash and our crew. First Baptist Cleveland, Stephen Beasley did a little bit, not much, but no, thanks to everybody at First Baptist. That's it for us.
Hey,
Thanks so much. Yes.
I can say this tonight, right? Like we do every week, SEC Saturday. Go Dogs.
Oh, we'll leave it there. Good night.